to what extent was Kabaka Mwanga responsible for the 1888-1892 conflicts in Uganda? So we needed to understand the key issues about the conflicts. So in this kind of arrangement, we are realizing that between 1888 and 1892, there were conflicts in Uganda where different religions were fighting for supremacy and control, for example, in the palace. So we are realizing that Mwanga was responsible for these conflicts. And then we have to look at other factors. So we are saying, of course, Mwanga came to power in 1884. And of course, he was very young. So we are going to see that he was responsible for the conflicts. Let us see how he was responsible. So we are saying he was weak-minded and lacked the charisma of his father. Since Mwanga was weak-minded and lacked the charisma of his father, that is Mutesa I, this led to the conflicts in Uganda. Because for him, he could not manage to handle the different conflicts since he was weak-minded, and that led to the conflicts. Then his killings of the early Christians in 1885. So we are saying that Mwanga killed the early Christians in 1885. Of course, this created conflicts between the Christians and the traditionalists, because by this time they were looking at the traditionalists as their enemies, and this led to conflicts. Then Mwanga's threat to evict all of the alien groups from his palace. Mwanga, like for him, is threatened to evict the foreigners from his palace. It is this that created the conflicts, because members of the different religions could not accept this, since they were foreigners. So by this, it is this that created a situation of conflicts, and we are attributing this to Mwanga. Then his order to kill Bishop Annington, 1885. So we are saying Mwanga gave an order, of course, to his loyal men by this time to kill Bishop Huntington, a man full of religion. So it is this that created the conflicts between the traditionalists and the what? The Christians. Because they could not allow Mwanga to kill Bishop Huntington. Then his order to kill the converts in 1886. We are like saying in 1886, Mwanga ordered the killing of the converts. These were Christians. It is this that created the enmity and conflicts between the Christians and the traditionalists. So we are saying Mwanga led to conflicts in Uganda. Then the allegation that he was a homosexual, this of course was condemned by the missionaries. Since there were allegations that Mwanga was a homosexual, it is this that annoyed the Christians. The Christians started fighting him and the traditionalists. And of course, this resulted into conflicts in where? In Uganda. Then Mwanga was arrogant and inconsistent leader. Since Mwanga was arrogant, he wasn't willing to listen. They told him to do what? To listen to what other religious groups were saying. But he was a very arrogant man. So it is this that led to the conflicts in Uganda, because the man was not willing to listen. He influenced the formation of an alliance of religious groups directed towards Mwanga, towards him. So we are like saying it was because of Mwanga's leadership that there was the formation of an alliance of religious groups. All of these religious groups were like directing to fight Mwanga because of his policies. This made religions to make an alliance to fight him. he signed an agreement with Kalpitas, which annoyed Lugard. We are like saying today, Mwanga signed an agreement with Kalpitas, and this annoyed Lugard. Lugard was not happy with Mwanga, and this, of course, in this kind of agreement, it is this that made Lugard to support other groups against Mwanga, and this led to conflicts. So you must understand how Mwanga was responsible for the 1888-1892 conflicts. But let us look at other factors. Number one, the coming of Lugard, who gave 500 guns to the Protestants. As Lugard rose up and he gave 500 guns to the Protestants, it is this that led to conflicts in Buganda. Because as Lugard gave guns to the Protestants, they became confident and they were willing to do what? To fight. Then the death of Mutesa I in 1884 left a power vacuum. We believe by this time, as Mutesa I died in 1884, this left a power vacuum. And this later resulted into the rise of a younger man called Mwanga. So when Mutesa died, a man who could handle the situation, it is this that led to conflicts in Buganda. Then the rise of Christian pages who reacted against the actions of Mwanga. The Christian pages, these were working in the palace. But of course, what happened? Mwanga was against Christianity. These Christian pages led to the conflicts in Buganda because they were not willing to listen to Mwanga since he was against Christianity. Then the many religions with contradicting beliefs. Because there existed so many religions, Christianity, Islam, African traditionalists, all of these had what you call differences, contradicting beliefs. So it is this that led to fighting and resulted into what? Conflicts. As the Muslims were calling for believing in one God, the Christians in a Trinity. So it is this that led to the conflicts 1888 to 1892. Then Buganda's poor foreign policy. We are saying by this time Buganda had a poor foreign policy with the countries like France and Britain because the French and the British were the one financing Christians altogether. But we are realizing that Mwanga was not willing to cooperate. You remember even Mwanga, for him, he wasn't a collaborator. He was a resistor altogether. So it is this that led to conflicts. Then the struggle for power among the religions. It is said that different religions, Islam, Christianity, African traditionalists, all of these were struggling for what? For power. Every group wanted to prove that I'm strong more than the other. So it is this that resulted into conflicts. Then the desire to win many converts. The Muslims wanted many converts, the Christians wanted converts, even the traditionalists wanted converts. So it is this that created unnecessary competition and finally led to what? To the conflicts. Then the failure by the missionaries to give military assistance to Buganda. Because Mwanga was against the missionaries refused to give military assistance to Buganda. It is this that created conflicts between Mwanga and the missionaries. And of course, this led to the conflicts 1888 to 1892. Then the political vacuum created after 1887 exilement of Mwanga. So when there was a political vacuum after the exiling of Mwanga, it is this that made the different religions to fight. Because every religious groups wanted dominance and influence. In where? In Uganda. Then the scrum and partition of East Africa. We believe by this time the scrum and partition of East Africa, where the British wanted influence, the Germans also wanted what? Influence. So it is this that created political conflicts, where we are realizing that at one time the British, since they were the colonialists, Mwanga was rising up against them. And of course, for them, they had to sponsor Christians to fight against Mwanga. And this resulted into conflicts. Then, another key aspect, the importance of River Nile. It is said because in Buganda, which is part of Uganda, there was what you call a river what? River Nile. So by this, the different groups of people were fighting, different religions, wanted the dominance in Buganda, which is part of what? Uganda. Due to the fact that having influence and controlling Buganda, which is part of Uganda, could give them an upper hand over River what? River Nile. And this resulted into conflicts. So our question has been, we are like saying, to what extent was Kabaka Mwanga responsible for the 1888 to 1892 conflicts in where? In Uganda. So this means you must have a standpoint. The side where you have many points becomes a large